What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Post. Here we are, just short 1 month and a half away from the Breeders' Cup Horse Racing Championships that will be held this fall in November at Santa Anita Race Park in California. We have a loaded Saturday and Sunday for Breeders' Cup Winning Your In Stakes races. We'll be kicking it off on our video series with the Churchill Downs. I'm going to give you the Jefferson Cup and the Ack Ack being the Breeders' Cup Winning Your In. So make sure to give a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you're getting all of our Breeders' Cup Winning Your In races leading up to the big horse racing championships this fall. Check down below in the description or in the comments. We will post our full betting card for all of the races on our blog for Churchill Downs, Belmont, at Aqueduct, and Santa Anita for Saturday and maybe even some Sunday action. So make sure to go and give us a subscribe on our blog as well. So we're going to kick it off with the 8th race on Churchill for Saturday. We're going a mile on the turf for these 3-year-olds in this Jefferson Cup. A pretty good contingent for this race. I believe we have about 11 horses coming in or that have been entered in here. Our top pick is going to be probably the favorite come post time in More Than Looks, number 7, currently 5-2, Christian Torres for Sherry DeVoe. Coming out of the National Museum Racing Hall of Fame Stakes at Saratoga. $500,000 Grade II Stakes race back in August. Is pointed in here, was beat out by Carl Spackler in there. I think More Than Looks was probably the second choice in that race. Did have Johnny Velasquez aboard for Sherry. So gets a little bit of jockey switch up here. Does get Christian Torres back aboard, who has ridden this horse, I believe, at Ellis Park in an allowance race. If you go back 3 starts, that's where the horse really kind of kicked it in gear, winning that allowance with Torres aboard. Then comes into the Manila Stakes at Belmont, winner of that Grade 3, kind of gets its first Grade 3 stakes race, and tries Grade 2 up against the likes of Carl Spackler, and then comes in here back to just a regular stakes race. So probably the class of the field in here. Definitely a horse that's been hitting the exactas in all but, I think it was like 5 races, or all but 1 race. So 5 races, it's been either first, second, or third, with those 3 wins in that third last time out. Did post a pretty good workout at Keeneland back in September 18th. It's been prepped for this race. So definitely looks pretty good coming in here. Stakes races for the trainer Sherry DeVoe is at a 57% right now. 43% in the money and an ROI of positive 57. Looks to be a horse that's going to set off the pace pretty well in here and have a big late push for this big mile turf race for the Jefferson Stakes. Our second pick, we're going with the Old Desert Duke, coming in for Chris Hartman. Gets Florent Giroux aboard. First time Florent is going to get a ride on the Old Desert Duke. This is 3-year-old out of Kitten's Joy for Chris Hartman. Looks to be one that's going to have some early speed in here, probably be a little bit in the mid-pack section of these horses, just off the pace a little bit, but definitely has enough middle speed and that late speed ability to run up at the end. Fourth last time out in a $200,000 Kentucky Downs preview. This was at Ellis Park. They went a mile on an 8, so getting a little bit of cutback in distance for Desert Duke here, going back to the mile. Should be interesting. Again, the horse has been third 2 times, and then this fourth last time out has ran in some big stakes races. The American Turf Grade 2 was just beaten to a pulp there. Finished 13th, comes back in the Audubon, finishes 3rd, goes to the American Derby, finishes 3rd, just keeps running into the same horses of Web Slinger and Waldsworth. So obviously those likes aren't in here, but definitely is going to be up against it yet again. But I think this horse has some tactical speed that could set up really well. Third, we're looking at number 4, Noises Off. Tyler Gaffalione, Paulo Loba come in. This horse was previously ridden by Christian Torres, so Torres gets off and jumps on our top pick. And More Than Looks. So interesting here, but it does get still probably a jockey upgrade with Tyler Gaffalione coming aboard. Does come off of Lasix, so that will be interesting to see. Has early speed, probably will be on the lead or setting that early speed for this race. And like we said, like the likes of More Than Looks, probably coming from way off the pace. So pace is going to be dictated probably by Noises Off, so that will be interesting. Pretty good one here out of Candy Ride. The horse is only 8-1 and 5, so definitely has been hitting the board. Has a string of seconds in its career with winning that last time out. So maybe Lobo has found something in this horse in that last race, going a mile, and I believe it was, at Kentucky Downs. So definitely in a good shape coming in. Has got that mile turf pedigree and that mile turf stamina. So definitely one at 7-2 we will take a shot at. And long shot pick in here, we're going with Endpoint. The only reason we're kind of using this does come off of Lasix, like a lot of these horses will. We kind of like the sires of Nyquist. However, going to the turf has been a question mark. This horse, I believe, will come back to the turf. Has tried the turf one other time at Ellis after running on dirt, and then goes to synthetic, comes from Turfway Park to Ellis, wins a big 70K maiden special, breaks its maiden special on the turf, and then automatically goes back to Ellis Park, and I believe it was like an off track. So interesting to see what this horse is able to do. Again, getting the turf, getting the mile. What's interesting, the horse, I think, is just an extra runner for Paulo Loba in here. It does get Grotto again aboard, who's been on this horse several times, posts some okay workouts. It's just interesting to see what this horse is able to do. If you look back, it's the one time, 2 times, I think it's been off of the money. It's finished 4th twice, and then won 6th place finish, which when it was first entered. So definitely one to take a shot with, to put in a trifecta or an exacta at 30-1. Interesting, since I like betting these angles when trainers put 2 horses in here. There's always one horse that's kind of like a tactical. It's in here for a reason, and it could just be to kind of have an outside shot. But with the other Lobo trained horse in Noises Off, it's going to be interesting to see if Noises Off goes quickly. Is Endpoint going to be sent out early as well, just to try to dictate that pace and kind of keep somebody else from pressing the pace for Noises Off? So interesting tactic here. It's kind of that secret tactic that we see, but definitely something to consider when trainers enter multiple horses. So the big race 9, it will be the Ack Ack, so the grade 3 for 3-year-olds and up in here. This one is the win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. So the Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile, I believe, is where these horses should be pointed to. Pretty good crop of them in here. Probably should have gotten more runners just because, but a lot of these horses are probably speculating Cody's Wish to end up in the Dirt Mile yet again. So we will see. So 7 horses come in. Our top pick, kind of going away from Zozos in here, who's probably going to be the favorite. We're going to try with 3 Technique. Has some big speed figures. Winner of the last 2 starts for Jason Cook. Gets Rafael Bejarano back aboard. So he's been on this horse before in a allowance of 100K, non-winners of 3. Horse goes to the John Neerud at Belmont Grade 2 Stakes race and wins that one, posting a second best, career best of a 105 speed figure. So definitely one that's performing well, has been on fire in the workouts on the Churchill Downs training track. So definitely interesting. Again, has ran in the Knicks Go overnight, finished 3rd, and did run in that Big Ass Fans Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile last year, beat out by Senor Buscador, Cody's Wish. Time before that was the Ack Ack, where Senor Buscador beat him. So has been running against pretty good company. Did run against Zozos before and finished 3rd. So we'll see which kind of horse is coming in that better shape to try to get themselves in a win in your end Breeders' Cup. So obviously, second, we're going to use Zozos in here. Did come out of the Philip H. Esselin at Monmouth. Just did not look right. I don't know if it was distance, going a little bit further in the mile 16th, probably not what the horse wanted. Grade 3 stakes race in there, finishing fourth with Florent Giroux. So Florent Giroux will stay aboard. Obviously, the winner of the Hanshin and the Knicks Go Overnight, posting 104 and 107 speed figures, looks to be one that's going to sit just off the pace, possibly press the pace in here for our long shot pick, Skyroo, who's probably going to be the pace setter. So Zozo's probably is definitely the horse to beat. 10 and 6 lifetime. 3 Technique has ran against him before, so it'll be interesting to see what these horses do. If there's kind of like a pace scenario in here where 3 Technique sits a little bit closer to the lead, could be a pretty good showing. Next, we have Obesos as our third pick, Tyler G with Greg Foley. Tyler was on this horse a couple other times in the Qatar Breeders' Cup Sprint. Was smoked in there by Elite Power, finishing fifth. And then again, the non-winners of 3, kind of where the horse picked up its last win. Went to the Jeff Hall Memorial at Ellis, finishing second in there for 125. Got beat out by Hear Me Song, a pretty good horse by a neck. So the horse is kind of coming off a pretty good run, just was beaten very closely, but has struggled in the past 2 starts. Obviously, it's coming out of that Breeders' Cup Sprint where Elite Power was not going to let anybody pass. I mean, it had CZ Rocket, Jackie's Warrior, then Obesos was in there. So the horse has speed. The tactical side of things, where's this horse going to be placed? Probably mid-pack is kind of what it's showing on the past performances. So look for Obesos to kind of make that run into that last turn. And like I talked about, our long shot play, going with Skyro with Brian Lynch in here, has pretty good numbers off a 6-month layoff. This horse last ran in January, so definitely coming off a huge layoff, so not expecting much in here, but I kind of interesting enough. It's a fresh horse, so the pace setup is kind of interesting. Posted 2 pretty good workouts at Churchill Downs September 23rd. Was beat out by Wolfie's Dynaghost last time out in just 100K handicap at Gulfstream Park. And then winner of a 75K allowance. So this horse is definitely going to be a huge long shot. It'll probably go up to about 20 to 1 because some of these others are going to take a lot of money. Just playing this one strategically here off of these pace setups. The horse should go out early. And definitely one to watch. As you can see on our past performance, Brian Lynch in the exactas, 14 starts, 29% wins, has an ROI of 48% right now off of these 6-month layoffs and a 44% in the stakes. So going to try to be sneaky in here. If Skyroo gets out to the lead, hopefully it's not too big of a lead, going a mile, that he could stay up there for those exotics of an exacta or trifecta for us. And the last one, we have the Lucas Classic Grade 2 for 3-year-olds. Another stakes race, 1 mile and an eighth on the dirt. Whoops. Top pick, obviously, will be Rattle and Roll, number 4 with Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez. Interesting, I kind of marked this as a big question mark. What happened to the horse in the Jockey Club? Just seemed like it ran out of gas, didn't have enough or something. Was the big heavy favorite and finished 6th in there behind Bright Future, Proxy, Tyson. So interesting to see hopefully nothing's wrong with Rattle and Roll. Hopefully the horse comes in fine. I just think they went pretty quick or too slow for Rattle and Roll and just did not have anything to close into. So we'll see. He should be able to get a much better pace setup coming in. So definitely we're going to use him as our top pick. I mean, you can't fault him for that last race. And if you look after that, he's done everything right. Stephen Foster, second. Blame, he won the Blame, the Pimlico Special, the Ben Ali. So he was on a pretty good roll for Rattle and Roll until he ran into some problems in the Jockey Club. So we'll see what happens there. He was angled out. I think he was like 5 wide. So hopefully we get a little bit better trip for Rattle and Roll. Next, we're going with a little bit bigger price in here in Happy American as our second pick, Neil Pesson for James Graham. Coming out of the Stephen Foster as well. They're finished 3rd behind Rattle and Roll and West Willpower. Was behind Rattle and Roll and Call Me Fast in the Blame. So has been running behind Rattle and Roll several times. So we'll see if they get a bigger jump on Rattle and Roll, or if they go from that mid-pack position when Rattle and Roll goes. From the one hole should be a fairly decent setup for Happy American. I don't see any issues. Posted a big 114 last time out, so I think this horse should be geared up and ready to run with Rattle and Roll yet again. And third, we're going, or long shot, I would guess, instead of a third pick, kind of wheeling a price in here in Wayland Springs. Winner last time on that Philip Esselin Stakes at Monmouth, a Grade 3 stakes race where it beat out Trademark and some of the other horses in here. Interesting, the horse was first, second, and first in his last 3 starts, all at Monmouth. Second in the Monmouth Cup behind Proxy, who has ran against some of the likes of these other horses. So maybe Wayland Springs kind of fits in with this group. Definitely going to be up against it in this group, just because it's ran in 2 Grade 3 stakes races, comes out of an allowance non-winners of 3, goes right into Grade 6 company, finishes second, and then right back into a Grade 3 and wins. So definitely one that seems to be improving, and another one that's going to be kind of a late runner and coming off the pace in here, just like Rattle and Roll. So we should see 3, maybe 4 horses come flying late off the lead, as we don't really know what the pace setup in this race is going to be like. Possibly Warrant could go to the lead early, and then having a couple horses just setting up way behind him. But definitely the hour 3 that we picked are going to be gun runners coming late. There's our third pick. I knew we had one in here somewhere. American Revolution. We're going to use it because we that's the horse that we were expecting to go to the lead with Warrant. This one has Tyler Gaffalione aboard for Todd Pletcher, so got to use Tyler Gaffalione when he's on his home track at Churchill. So this one probably will run to the lead with Warrant set off the pace. Maybe push Warrant a little bit too quick, and then that's where we kind of get the sweep of American Revolution coming in. But like I said, some of these other horses are going to be running fast late, like Rattle and Roll and hopefully Happy American. So there's our race picks for the 3 stakes races on Churchill for Saturday, September 30th, including that big Ack Ack Breeders' Cup qualifying race for the Dirt Mile. We thank you for watching. Make sure to check out our other videos. Leave us a comment down below and give us a like and hit that subscribe. Thanks.